What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Episode 13, and full season review. So in this one, Koichi is chased by this mantis like instant villain. He's saved by Captain Celebrity, who tells him, at Koichi's like apartment, whatever, that he should try to act more like a normal citizen, so that he's not causing problems for him since he's not a pro. And then so Captain Celebrity, he's not able to show up to the next like Narufest performance because he's busy filming a commercial with Inganium because his schedule basically like his schedule is like packed. Like Makoto like controls his schedule. So and thing is these little girls who show up to I guess sing their promise to be able to meet a hero, they're not told who it is, they're just told a surprise, and there was like a trap. So the idea is to have Koichi show up as the crawler, as the crawler, and then act as but basically he just embarrassed himself. I guess since he's not technically a pro hero, so the little girls act, so when we meet the hero, and they're like, crap. So, and then while all this is going on, Tsukachi meets with Eraserhead Midnight to talk about the instant villains, and basically that they believe there's like an organization that's behind it that's like using these experiments for like um like the further ends. They don't know who they call it. They say organized crime. It's not Yakuza. They don't know it's all for one. Like, because they I don't know necessarily how much Eraserhead and Midnight know about All for One. Sakachi knows who he is because he knows All Might's real name. He's one of the few people that knows his real name, knows about the injury, and knows about One for All. So Sakachi knows about All for One. I don't know how much Eraserhead Midnight know, like how much information they're privy to as far as that guy. I mean, they probably heard rumors, but the lot of stuff's not public, so maybe there's some heroes who probably don't know. So basically, anyway, so then yeah, they discuss. So they're gonna continue their investigation. Then there's this guy with the the scarred man who basically turns this so the bat villain from like a previous episode with Inganium, he's basically given some trigger and is like a lot more powerful. He attacks Inganium and then senses Koichi with his like enhanced powers and abducts him in front of the whole audience at Narufest. But then Captain Celebrity defeats the villain and saves Koichi. And then later, Koichi knows he knows that Knuckle Duster left behind all his mask and knuckles, and he thinks that he Knuckle Duster wants them clean. And Tamao, Tamao, Knuckle Duster's daughter regains unconsciousness, and she sees Soga like looking at him. She's like, "Who the heck are you?" She's like, "Who are you?" She asks where her dad is. So Knuckle Duster goes back and when Tamao asks about her mother where she's at, Knuckle Duster says she can't see her right now, and basically, and there's like a flashback to you know Knuckle Duster's wife being rushed to like this room, and then like he sees her, and then makes a flashback, and it's implied that you know basically and like and basically the show implies that she's dead, but in the manga, she's dead. She's dead. In the manga, basically, she is dead. Like, yeah, and like they don't directly say, but like she unfortunately passes away. And so, of course, Knuckle Duster's gonna have to deal with that, deal with how, yes, he's like a single father now. And so, like, and then basically, like, so then, he tells Tamao that everything'll be right because he's there now. Then Koichi, Pop, and Makoto, they put up this, like, corkboard in, Koichi's penthouse, if you could call it that. And then there's, like, I guess, like, basically a vocal, like, overview from like a Koichi from the future who like reflects on everything. So that even though Knuckle Duster wasn't with him for very long, his presence was always there, and basically there would be trouble he'll have to deal with by himself. And so basically, like it's showing. I guess of course the series continued. They announced season two, which I'm very happy for because this is like you know this is one of the more popular spin-offs for My Hero Academia. And it's 15, the whole series is 15 volumes. So since a lot of manga, a lot of anime shows, they adapt like usually somewhere around 5 volumes per season. That's kind of standard for anime. From when you go from manga to anime, a lot of times around 5 volumes is adapted in one core in like for in an anime. So this would be like a 3 core shows, or if they do one core per season, this would be a 3 season show. So yeah, I really like this episode. I really like this season. And I'm really looking forward to season two, which I believe premieres. It premieres next year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. 2026, we're getting My Hero Academia's Vigilante season two. Like very shortly after the regular show, like the main show, ends this year. Which it's a good run for that series, for the original series. Duck Dynasty, the revival, episode 5. So in this one, so Corey wants a chicken coop. Well, she wants to like have like a little homestead where basically the family grows its own food, raises livestock and chickens and all that in order to you know basically live on the land and all that. Willie doesn't want to do it because his family grew up poor, so like they basically had to do that, and so like basically since he had to do that, he doesn't necessarily want to go back to doing that. And that's kind of like basically he knows his kids. He knows that it's a lot of work, and he doesn't probably expect to be able to do it well. Because it is a lot of work. Like it is a lot of work to do all that. And his kids were very indoors. They do a lot of hunting. Like Willie is basically almost like Jace. Like he says their idea of roughing it is like those cell phones. I'm like, man. I mean, it reminds me of that episode, the original show, where Jace says that Willie's idea of roughing it was changing the setting on his map, on his whatever type of bed he had, like changing the setting on his sleep number bed. So I was like, man, Willie is turning into Jace. So it takes a lot of convincing. Basically, Corey has to use the grandkids to convince him. Willie says, "Hey, you can choose between chickens or ice cream." I think one kid chooses ice cream, other two choose chicken. So basically was like fine. So basically, how it happened, so John Luke and Mary Kate, they basically as like a practice run, they'll put a chicken coop in their yard, like in their backyard. So John Luke comes with his idea is like to build one. So basically, all like the son, the like John Luke and all of like Willie's son-in-laws basically build a chicken coop, and Willie gets Cy to supervise, which shows how bad of an idea this is. And then basically, and then another thing, so Jacob and Christian, so they are involved in the bed at the same time. So basically, Christian made some comments, like basically I guess think he was playing like shooting hoops with Sadie. Like they were just shooting hoops. They weren't like going full on basketball. And basically Sadie was like shooting better than him, and they were all making fun of him for losing to his wife. As all men do. If a man loses to his wife or girlfriend, so like, he's going to get made fun of. That's just how it is. I mean, so then, like basically, Chris, I think his exact words, if he had a belly, he would do bet. He would probably be doing better. And I first heard, I was like, you freaking retard. You just and basically it's like Willie's like in the interview part of it, he's like, yeah, Christian basically put his foot in his mouth. And basically Christian and Jacob both say that it's probably not that hard being pregnant. And then so Sadie and Bella say, all right, let's put this to a test. So they give them all like these like pregnancy fake belly things, whatever the heck, like to give them to simulate for the men for those two to simulate what it's like to be pregnant. And basically they have to last 3 days with it. So basically, so John Luke, all son-in-laws, they build the chicken coop, or attempt to build chicken coop with Jacob and Christian having to wear those little like sacks while they're in it. What's funny is while they're building it, like so Christian's like rips a little bit, so they jokingly say that his water broke. And so expecting there to be problems, Mary Kate just goes to buy one. Basically, she and Corey expect that probably it ain't gonna go well. Billy won, so they buy one, and then they surprise John Luke with it after the one he builds ends up in the river. So, they get a chicken coop and basically, so Christian and Jacob, they passed the bet. I don't know what the punishments were or the rewards. That's never brought up, but Sadie's not letting them off the hook. So basically, I guess there's like some electrical shock thing that's supposed to simulate the pains of, I guess, labor. And so basically, like it hurt, like they feel pain. Like it hurts very badly for them. Like I think Christian got hurt for a lot more. Like Jacob was able to handle it better, but it still hurt him. But Christian just couldn't handle it on the first one. They, I guess they both of them went all the way up, and Christian was like, "Holy crap!" And so Christian was like, "All right, I'm not gonna say anything ever again about that." And yeah, I thought it was a good episode. It's very funny. The whole like pregnancy, like the fake belly thing, the tips of a chicken coop. I thought that was great. So yeah, I like this episode. Look forward to the next one. Rick and Morty season 8, episode 6. So in this one, Rick, Morty, Summer, and Jerry go to a alien theme park called Earth World, which is made to, I guess, look like Earth. Now it's made by a guy who never went to Earth. So Rick says it was very dangerous, very dirty and stuff. It was like so bad it's good type thing. But it ends up being a lot more safer because I guess they replaced like whoever the old owner was. Like the old owner like stays like is kind of like kept off to the side somewhere in the basement. So Rick gets pissed at how safe it is. Morty comes across this alien who I guess really likes Earth and basically wants to screw him because he's human. Morty's like a little offended at first, but he's kind of like screw it at one point. And so Rick, Summer, Jerry, they go try to find the original owner. Then they find the original theme park, which is very bad. Rick's like, this is not as great as I remember. So then, oh, like the mascots, like, so the owner creates the mascot, like army of mascots, brainwashes all the existing ones to basically destroy the new theme park and kill everyone in it who's not a mascot. Now all his mascots ends up killing him. Then they start killing all the guests. And Morty, while he's screwing that chick, the girl asks him to say something racist because I guess in her mind humans invented racism or something. Uh, then basically like all the and so she gets eaten. Maury starts killing some of the mascots. So then, now Rick before then he leaves because he's pissed off how bad the park is. So like he goes back. And then while this is going on, the two Beth, so Beth is face Beth, they're like basically bored from everything they want to do it. So they change themselves back into children, and they start causing a lot of damage. They like basically burn down the neighbor's house. They create a tree house, and yeah, so basically it's like Gene, the neighbor, like his house is burned down, but he's like basically hurt very badly, and this is actually and Gene tries to call the cops, which is the reason why Rick ends up going back. Is he gets notification that Gene's trying to call the cops because he's set up to where basically cops are going to investigate what he's doing. Like so, finds the two beds, cleans up everything. Basically, he turns them back into adults, and then basically the two best help fix up Gene's like house, and then Morty, Summer, and Jerry they fix her. They basically escape the park and uh crash. Then there's like a post that reveals that I guess the reason why Rick's able to avoid you know getting arrested is because he basically intercepts all calls from Gene to the authorities so that basically the cops don't get his messages. Yeah, and then yeah, so and you see here some of the stuff he's reported. And apparently and if Rick knows and so Gene knows that Rick I guess has been like if I don't know if Gene exactly knows how to that Rick's intercepting them, but if he does figure out that could set him up to be a potential adversary for Rick, so he can maybe try to figure out, you know, how to get around Rick's intercepting all the calls. Now it's mostly a one-off gag, and they're not gonna deal with the future, just like the talking churro from that one episode. So yeah, but overall, I thought it was a decent episode. I mean, the fact that it's like a Jurassic Park parody, it was kind of funny. Although I think what the that was inside a homeless guy's body was a better Jurassic Park parody. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a decent episode. Look forward to the next one. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.